Hey guys, how is everyone doing? It's Malbec here, bringing you another English video. You didn't hear wrong. It's my second English video. My first one received quite a lot of support, the Berserker guide, so that's the main reason I'm bringing this right here. This is gonna be kind of a war video, but it's more the type of videos that I usually bring to my Spanish community. And I thought, hey, why not? Let's try making it in English. And if the people like it, I might be considering uploading more of these, not only guides, which I'm definitely working on the next one. The idea for my channel right now, if these English videos start getting support, would be kind of making a mix, half videos in Spanish, half videos in English, so I can bring content for both of my communities. So that being said, let me quickly explain in Spanish to my Spanish viewers so they understand what's going on, and then we start with the video since it will be fully in English, this one. Pequeño paréntesis para los que consumen mis videos en español, chicos, que son la gran mayoría de ustedes. Este video va a estar en inglés. Así que nada, si son fieles al canal ya deberían saber que yo venía queriendo implementar esto. No se me asusten, es decir, si también son fieles al canal y ya saben lo que habré dicho en otros videos, quiero incorporar algunos que otros videos en inglés al canal, sobre todo porque me lo han pedido mucho. Mucha de la gente que me miraba también ya de por sí lo hacía mirando los subtítulos que yo le agrego a los videos en español, y me pedían contenido en otro idioma, ¿no? En inglés en específico. Entonces la idea mía es hacer un mix, traerles un poco de contenido en español y un poco en inglés, ir variando. Ya hay muchas guías en español subidas al canal, así que es probable que vean resubidos algunos videos, pero en inglés, de ciertas guías. Pero después, por lo demás, eventos nuevos, actualizaciones, videos de guerra como este, ya les subí igual el valle anterior en español, pues algunos van a estar en inglés y otros en español, como aquel, ¿no? Así que nada, pequeño paréntesis para aclararles a todos ustedes, igual los subtítulos en español de este video van a estar, así que si se quieren quedar están invitados a quedarse si entienden inglés, y si no, nos veremos en el que siga, que voy a tratar de que sea la guía de arqueros. Estoy trabajando en armar ese video, ya lo tengo prácticamente armado el guión, pero tengo que cocinar todo lo que es la edición del mismo. Así que dicho eso, chicos, nos vemos en el que sigue o en este video si se quieren quedar a verlo. So that being said, guys, we can start now with the video. I have changed the language for my account, from my game, from Spanish to English, so you guys can appreciate it a little bit better. And I have to say that this video doesn't have a speech behind, like the Berserker guide I had to make, which was my first English video. I had to write a speech of an hour by hand, then I had to record my audio, then I had to record the game and synchronize both of them to give you guys kind of the best quality possible of my English, which isn't the greatest of all time, So I'm trying my best here, and in this video it's just all coming out of my mind. It's completely spontaneous. So the content I'm bringing you guys today is about Tribal Showdown, this specific event, the victory against Xeno, which is worth to mention since it's the very first time these guys lose, and the day number 6 more specifically, which is the War Day, and how it has completely changed from what it was in the very first months of the game and what it is right now. Like, this event isn't the same anymore, guys. So why not beginning or starting with migration? I think it's worth to mention that a lot of servers have changed a lot with this recent migration event. Like, all of these servers right here changed drastically after migration. And that's worth to mention, as I said, mainly because we will see these having consequences in the next events. Server 1 probably lost a lot of people, not gonna lie to you. They didn't receive the maximum they could, but I know they are all merged into the same alliance, which is Dawn. So they are still very solid and competitive. Server 2 did receive a lot of people. I think the max was like 30 new players, and they did get 2 really decent whales, such as Uchiha from server 4, and I think it was Abu Sultan from server 5. So that's 2 great whales they got, which I have to say they really needed, since they only had Vortmos as their main Kraken, and then they had Drak, and I think it was Lean and Leisurely as secondary whales. So that's good for them. They are already hardbone, they were hardbone, and they are going to be even harder now, so that's good. Server 3, one of the big winners, I would say, from migration. They jumped, NUW jumped from 10 billion power to 15 billion power after migration. That's crazy. They got like 45 to 50 new players. So amazing migration for them. We will see a lot of competitive stuff coming from them. I really hope in the upcoming events. Server 4, one of the big losers, I would say. They were looking good with the merge they had on FOW, merging all their alliances into that one, especially in the previous Bale, but migration reached and most of them left it. I was surprised to see that, not gonna lie, but sad for them. Server 5 is something similar to Server 2. I mean, Server 2 lost a lot of players from FWB, that's worth to mention as well, but they gained on East. And Server 5, kind of a similar scenario. They lost on secondary alliances, but they did win on their main alliance, which is Fury. Yo guys, while I was editing this, can you believe I just noticed Server 6 isn't anywhere? Like, it's not on that migration list. We jumped from Server 5 to 7. Where is Server 6? And then I started asking myself, hey, I don't remember watching Server 6 on Tribe Showdown, neither on the Veil or Jotunheim. So I said, hey, let's search for Server 6 and check what's there. And it's completely dead. There's only 2 alliances. This one right here, which is the purple one, Sixth Kingdom, and then this pink one on this side. These are here. So it's kind of crazy, not gonna lie. I don't know if this is a dev server like they use for testing, maybe part of what it was the beta, but hey, I swear to God I did see Server 6 when the game was launched, and I don't know what happened here, but I thought it was fun to show it on the video since it's truly a thing that I just noticed. Server 7, Xeno, they did win. They got a lot of newer players. I don't know if as strong as I thought they would get, but definitely good additions for them, increasing the activity that they already had a pretty solid, baseline. So now they are looking even stronger, I would say. They actually used one of the Supreme Chieftain slots in one of the Server 8 players. It was a really problematic player, so I'm really happy to see him go and hope they can, find a way to trade with him in Server 7. Like, he was killing the environment in Server 8. That's the truth. So we're happy to see him go. Then Server 8, we received a lot of players. Like, we were one of the few servers who could receive 50 new additions instead of 30. So we kind of tried to get the most from these. We definitely got a lot of new fighters and some really good, strong players, not gonna lie. Server 9 is zeroed on all of these slots. That's incredibly surprising. I didn't expect that. I actually expected people leaving Server 9 and not joining it. So that's amazing since that's another competitive server growing up. And then Server 10, that's surprising for me since I'm a big fan from Mercenaries, not gonna lie. I really like those guys. They're really bloodthirsty and they are fighters. They don't have fear to fight against the strongest alliances, and I really expected more people migrating there, but it's still a good migration. I mean, they got 2 whales definitely, so that's good for them, and a couple more players, but I'm surprised they still have like 20 slots over here available. But yeah, as I said, all of that will definitely affect in the upcoming events. So let's start, guys, with the war fragments that I managed to record from our war day against Xeno in this showdown. And most of what you will see, the scenes, will be just Krakens against Krakens. And that's kind of the boring part from this recent era, we could call it, for Showdown. Like, it's not the same as it used to be the event when the game was launched months ago. Right now, this event is just for whales, specifically if you are fighting in this type of level, Here, you guys, for example, are watching Mason attacking I Am Junior, which is a player who unshielded and risked it all, He's just gifting points to Mason. He shouldn't have unshielded. I will explain you why in a few minutes. And then you got Isvam on the right, which is a 320 million power player, which will also be attacked by Avel. So that's the thing here. Even if you are 250, even 300 million power, you are not safe during this event. And that's crazy, guys, because if a 300 million player is not safe, what I have to do with 188 million as I am myself, or what has to do a T4 player with less than 100 million power? You know, this event has become completely boring. It's just whales and dogfights, you know, and it's something that I have to mention because I don't really like it. Like, I don't enjoy it anymore. I didn't enjoy this War Day. This was by far the most boring one, and I have to say it was horrible for me since I didn't even score enough for all of the boxes you need to unlock for each day of the showdown. Like this day, I only made 3 million points, I think it was, from the minimum of 8 million you need to unlock all of the boxes. Here as background, as I've told you, Avel is hitting Isvam, Nacho is doing I think as well, Mason will be, and Shamsa will TP soon. So they're all hitting Isvam. That's Avel, but it's not at the same time. We'll leave it right there, but you can tell it's not Avel mainly because he's using 350,000 troops instead of the full march as he could use with a capacity buff, which would be 500k troops. But overall, it's crazy that Avel and these guys are trying to solo Isvam, which he's not a Kraken, but he has a crazy good account. I mean, he has a lot of red runes and an amazing amount of good stats. And they got a lot of players like this one on Cino. It's not that they got just 2 or 3. They got like 10, even 15, I would dare to say, above 240 million power, which is considerably great. And I would say from 250 and above, you are considered kind of a whale in this game. So they got a lot of power in that alliance, and definitely a lot of good fighters to fight for this War Day. And the surprising part is that they didn't unshield. The only 2 players who unshielded, 3 if we want to count Fate, were Isvam, Rikov, and Fate. You know, just 3 of them unshielded during the entire day, if I'm not mistaken. And something similar happened to RPM. We only had Mason, Shamsa, and Avel unshielded, and a couple hours, minutes, I would say, from the first part of the event, Nacho was unshielded as well. But overall, it's been a whale's day, and that's the boring part, especially when a whale can score more than 50% from the overall score of the day. You know, we did like 1.8 billion points, I believe, 1.7, and Avel did 850 million of those points. So that's another good point for you guys to tell yourself this event isn't the same anymore. Here, another player slacking here, Misha 5 from Cino. The issue here is that Flocky is attacking him. It's not a whale from us attacking him. I mean, Flocky is a good player. He has like 230 or 240 million power, but he's not a crazy whale, so he's risking his army here. And you will see later this has consequences. So it's, you know, Nacho just TP there. That would have been the ideal scenario. Nacho attacking instead of Flocky. Flocky should have remained shielded. But it's been like this during the entire day of the war. So that's it, guys. Avel here, for example, trying rally on Isvam, but the issue here is that these guys won't be taking a rally. They know a rally would hurt them like crazy. So what they do, they just TP out and wait for solos, which is what feeds them points. Avel, Mason, Nacho, Shamsa fed Isvam like 100 and 150 million points with solos. So obviously he's not gonna take a rally. And here are the consequences I was talking about. Flocky getting soloed, gangbanged by Rikov and Isvam. That's exactly what would have happened to me if I unshielded before, or to any of the other players from RPM. And the same happens to Cino. If any of their mid-range players from 100 to 200 million power and shields, they will get soloed by our whales. So that's the main issue with this event. I remember months ago this wasn't like this. I remember when we started in the game, everyone could have fun during this event. Even the lowest player could have fun fights. Right now, if you're at this level, for example with RPM and Xeno, which are both crazy good alliances above 23 billion power, even 25 on Xeno, and both have crazy good accounts and Krakens, you just have to watch. You know, if you're a player like me, you're just watching and trying to search for targets for your whales to score. Here, Rico even trying to attack Nacho, so not even Nacho was safe for this event. 320 million player, you would think it's safe. Well, it's not. I will show the reports later at the end of the video, and Nacho was not trading good against Rikov, and it's crazy, guys. Like, only 3 of our players were safe. And here Shamsa, for instance, attacking another player from Xeno is lacking here. They had quite a lot of players desperate to get a couple points in the early game, in the early hours of the event, sorry. And our whales were just hunting them. We were laughing at night because we were saying, hey, Shamsa is Ancient 007. I even sent a GIF saying he seemed, or he looked like the monkey from Toy Story, watching 7 or 8 screens at the same time. It was hilarious. Everyone was laughing at night. But yeah, overall, it's been a whales event. As you guys can see here, a lot of Xeno players are there shielded, even most of their whales, like X-Speed is shielded, Eku is shielded up there. They are great accounts. They could be unshielded and fighting, but they are not, since they know it's taking risks. Here only Fate, I think, is unshielded from them, which is their biggest cap player, Rikov, and I believe Isvam, but I don't know where Isvam is here. And from us, we have only Avel, Mason, Shamsa, and Nacho unshielded. All the other players from RPM, same as myself, are shielded. So where is the fun on these guys? It's not the same anymore. Here you guys are watching Avel and Mason trying to solo Fate, which is a really good cap player they got on Xeno. And on the other hand, you will see Rikov trying to hit Nacho as well. He even tried with all his 5 marches. Didn't work that great for Rikov. I think 2 of his marches were working, the other 3 not. So after that, he started using only 1 march, which is his main one, Frey Arthur, and this is when he started trading really good against Nacho. So after this, Nacho took a couple more hits and then shielded, but the only person having fun here is Rikov from them, and from us, Avel, Mason, and Shamsa. So that's my point. Like, if you really want to have fun in this event, you depend from 2 things. One, pairing a weaker opponent, so all of your players can enjoy abusing your opponent, which isn't fun. And the other option is having an opponent like this one, but having people or finding people unshielded and sleeping and not being kicked from their alliance. Like, for example, we fought 4 alliances in this season. First one was against Dawn, and it was super boring. I think we had kind of a deal with them, so we didn't really fight a lot on that. Then the second week we fought Orki, which is a way weaker alliance. All of us couldn't shield, and we completely abused them, but Orki Whale didn't even unshield, so it wasn't really fun. You know, we got our points, but that was it. Not fun fights at all, especially when you're attacking a player which is 100 million less power than you. And the third fight, we fought NUW, which was fun, but it was chained with what I was talking here. Like, you need your opponent to be unshielded and sleeping, which is what happened with NUW. I've actually uploaded, I think it was a 13-minute video of us attacking NUW with a couple of rallies, and that was the only reason we had fun on that showdown, because they were sleeping and they didn't shield. So we managed to do a couple of rallies, which were really good reports, but overall it wasn't the greatest showdown ever. And if it wasn't for that, it would have happened the same as happened here with Xeno. Xeno may have a lot of good targets to hit, but they are smarter and they don't go to sleep with a shield off, you know. And in fact, if they catch you unshielded inside Xeno, they might kick you out from the alliance and burn yourself, mainly so you don't gift points to the enemy, which is something we obviously did as well, specifically for this war day. Like, we have learned this from them. Sino has been tryharding like crazy with this since the very early days of the game. Here, Mason, for instance, is attacking Hellbilly, which is offline from them, 240 million player. Mason is using his main March, Frey Arthur. You will even see Fate trying to solo Mason March in a couple seconds. But yeah, the thing here is that the Sino player is offline, and you will see what happens in a couple seconds, which is what I was talking about. Sino has been doing this since months, like since the very first showdown. I remember we fought these guys 3 times already, Sino. This is the first one we managed to beat them, and the previous 2 times were mainly the reason they mainly won was because of their tryhard level on this war day, applying these what you will see in a couple seconds. As I was saying, Avel trying to zero or at least attack Hammer there, while Rikov keeps trying on Nacho this side with his Frey Arthur, which is obviously hurting Nacho, so he will shield it in a couple more minutes. But overall, what you will see now, which we will be changing scenes, is that Hellbilly isn't anymore inside Sino. And as I've said, this is something Sino usually does since the very early days of the game. They kicked that player and they even tried to burn him. Like, you can see Isbam trying to solo him with a couple more players, I think. And Mason just went there and killed the troops surrounding that player. And now he's taking the reward for himself. You know, he's taking Hellbilly points for himself. Obviously, it's not the same, because while you are in Sino, Mason would be getting a lot more points than he's getting right now while he isn't inside the Alliance. So that's the whole point. It's kind of hilarious to say this, because there's one player from Sino claiming, and I don't know if crying, but he's claiming we went try hard on this, this strategy of kicking our own players and burning them. But hey guys, you've been doing this since the very early days of the game, so I don't know why you complaining on that when you started doing it. In fact, this is something we don't usually do, guys. Like, for real, we have fought really good alliances like East, Dawn, and a couple more, and we rarely apply this strategy. But we did it in this specific case because of the opponent. Like, seriously, we are going against what it was the unbeaten alliance in this event. So what would you guys expect us to do? Give you points for free and have a bunch of unshielded players giving you a free win? No, that's not the way, guys. We obviously wanted to win too. But overall, guys, that's the reality, the truth behind the current era of Showdown. Like, it's only a fun event in the very first months, I would dare to say. Like, after 4 or 5 months, it just becomes the hell you guys just saw, where only the whales fight. Like, in fact, for the entire day, my only task, and for the other members, like, we got 169 members right now. From considering Nacho, Shamsa, Avel, and Mason weren't shielded and fighting, the other 165 members of RPM were shielded and looking for targets in server 7, so those 4 guys I just named could score more points, since those are the only ones who could relatively unshield safely. So where is the fun on that? Like, seriously, it's not the same event anymore, and I said it through the entire video, but that's the whole point of this. Hope the game improves this event and maybe revamps it, or just, they launch something better. We need something better than this. This is not fun fights anymore. So that was it for the war scenes. I have a couple of reports we will see in a bit, but let's show the overall score of the week, which is crazy, guys. Like, Sino has been unbeaten in Showdown since the beginning of the game, like 5 months so far, unbeaten until today. So crazy good shot from RPM. I'm really proud of you guys. Amazing shot from everyone, from the oldest RPM player to the very newest we just received on migration. Everyone contributed. Of course, day 6 was purely whales. I don't know if I have the leaderboards for showing you the scores, but as I've said, Avel did like 850 million points. Then I think Shams and Mason did above 200 million each. So from the total score, our whales did 75 to 80% of the shot, I would say. And the same happened to Sino. It's not that it happened only on RPM. Sino had Rikov, Isvam, and I think a couple more players scoring a lot of points just by them. Like the top 10 between both alliances scored like 70% from both alliances total score. So yeah, this is the third time we are fighting Sino, and it's the first time we managed to beat them. As I've said, in Spanish there is a saying which is la tercera es la vencida. In English it would be something like third one is the charm. So yeah, we did lose the previous two times, but it's worth to mention that they were pretty close fights. I mean, I'm proud to say as well that RPM is one of the few alliances who always gave Sino a hard fight for the showdown, definitely. And I don't think we lost that badly against them. Like, the first one I don't remember, but I swear to God we won a couple days, and the second one was super close. We almost beat them on the second one. They won us on the war day, exactly applying what they were kind of complaining we did on this one, which was this strategy of kicking the players going offline and burning them so your opponent doesn't score a lot of points. But hey guys, it's a strategy game, don't get mad at us. You guys have been doing this since several months, and it's the reason you guys have been unbeaten for a long time. So don't be mad at us for applying the same strategy here. It's not something new. I mean, it's done in other games as well, so you're not discovering America here. But yeah, overall crazy good showdown for us, especially considering the opponent. Like, doing a 6-0 on Sino is not crazy. They are a 25 billion alliance almost. We are 24, I believe. Yeah, 24 billion for us. They are 1 billion ahead. They got like 15 players above 240 million power. They got a lot of whales, as I was saying. Rikov, one of their biggest Krakens. Look at that gear. This guy is a beast. They got Echo as well, crazy good player. A lot of good runes over there, as you guys can see. Isvam as well, 300 million power player. Little Nats as well, as you can see here. I mean, they got a lot of players that could have unshielded during the fights that I was showing there, but they didn't, so that was kind of the weird part. I don't know what has been happening to Sino lately. After the recent bales that they lost, they have been kind of dropping down. I don't know if their activity, since I know they got quite a good activity, but they definitely dropped on the spending part. I don't know if it has to be something to the game not being fun anymore for them, or for this specific game event, as I was saying during the entire video, which isn't the same anymore. Like, people can lose courage easier, especially if the game doesn't give enough updates for the events. Like, this event definitely needs an update on the mechanics for the war day, or just delete it, because right now is an event of 5 days instead of 6, and it's just about who has the biggest inventory and which alliance is willing to spend more. So it's not fun anymore. Like, what's the point of doing this event? It's even better to just save your inventory and try getting a good top Shiftine hero, for example. And a strategy that Sino usually does is just going for day 3 and 6. That's another thing that it's worth to mention. They usually don't go hard on day 1, 2, 4, and 5, and they do go on day 3 and 6. It was a crazy good fight still. That doesn't, like, them having 0 points doesn't mean they fought us. They didn't fight us. They actually fought us like crazy. Day 1 was super close with the hunting. Day 3 was amazing. It was a race. RPM was ahead, then Sino went ahead of us. We scared a little bit there. Like, we thought they had a lot more hiding, a lot of inventory hiding and pushing on the very last hours, but it seemed like they didn't have enough. So luckily for us, RPM also had a lot of inventory, and we managed to pull a win on that third day, which I don't know if it was a consequence for them not scoring much in the following ones. But yeah, overall that was it. Crazy good. She's to Sino, obviously, as I said, crazy good alliance. Hope they can go back to what they were a couple bales before. RPM has suffered as well. Like, we started with the right foot. I remember winning that first bale against East. We were super hyped, and then we obviously have our our down breaks. We had our losses. We lost 2 times in a row in Vale against Sino. We also lost a couple times in the showdown. We even lost in the Jotunheim thing. I remember the seasons. I don't know if I can see it here, but season 1, look at that, 43rd in the rank. That was horrible. Season 2, we tried to improve it, trying to get into the top 10. We couldn't, but in this season, we're trying to at least get in the top 10, which is our target. So we lost a lot in RPM, but we learned from our losses. So that has been an amazing progression from this alliance. So I'm very proud of you guys. We are obviously blessed to count with such whales: Avel, Mason, Shamsa, and Nacho mainly. And then all of the others, all the new guys. We received a lot of players in our server, so we're really happy to see this happening for ourselves. So I think it's something we definitely deserve. We have been working hard for getting such a victory in Showdown. We advanced to the next league, that's also worth to mention, and Sino didn't, although they deserve to pass. I don't know what the hell Elysium is doing there. Top 5, this is crazy. This is alliance that should be top 7, and Sino should be top 5 here. But it is what it is. I mean, we didn't do it just because we wanted to see Sino out of the top 7. We just wanted to win everything to kind of show we are also a competitive alliance. So proud to say RPM is the number 1 in this season for this bracket. Fury second, East got third over there. They did lose the first match against Sino. Dawn got fourth. They lost the first one against us. Elysium, I don't know why in the hell they are here, but hey, they are in the in the Supreme League. They will be down in the next one, pretty sure. Like, the league system is this one right now. There's regular, elite, legendary, and supreme, which is what we just moved on RPM. And then mercenaries is sneaked in that top 6. Well deserved, guys. As I have said, I expected these guys to receive a lot more players in the migration. Sadly, they didn't, but they're a really good alliance, so they deserve being in the next tier. And Sino 7th, as I've said, they definitely deserve to be in the next Supreme League, but it is what it is. Sometimes shit happens, and it's what happened here. But overall, crazy good showdown. Definitely an amazing showdown for RPM. And here I have a couple of the reports, just a few, so you can make yourself an idea of what was actually happening. As I have said, Rikov started attacking Nacho with all of his 5 marches, so he was trading positive with 2 of them. Let's see what he's using. Actually, I'm interested, since this guy is one of the strongest archer players in the entire game alongside Avel. He's using Frey Farhad, he's using the new hero. That's interesting. It seems to work for him. Obviously, he's attacking a weaker player. I mean, I'm saying weaker, sorry Nacho, it doesn't mean you're weak, but against Rikov you kinda are, but against any other player you are a beast, Nacho. But yeah, overall really good trade for Rikov on that one. Let's check the next one. Linda Kalthus, that's interesting. That's something I will bring on the Archer guide, guys. Linda, completely underestimated hero by many, and she's amazing purple hero, especially for PvP. I mean, she's not that good for rallies, but definitely in PvP you can use her in the open field and in the arena, and you will have great results from her. Even against PvE, I'm using her against the Shotun event against the boss, and she works as amazing. Kalth is obviously amazing hero, free to play, and Nacho is defending raid with raid YSS. That's worth to mention, since Nacho is a main axe thrower player, but as I have said in the Circus guide, even if you're a Cav or Archer main, you definitely want to have raid to defend your castle. The other marches weren't trading good for Rikov, at least not as good as the previous ones. Here he's using Helda Kyra, a common composition, but yeah, it's not working for him, surprisingly. So the next one here, another bad trade for Rikov. I mean, he was trading positive here, but not as good as the first ones. He's using Erin plus Roro here, kind of crazy comp. Erin has amazing skills with that skin. She can do multiple normal attacks, so she's definitely getting benefited from it. I don't know why Roro there. Like, I would have tried with a Reinhardt instead, maybe, or an Amma to increase the crit. But yeah, not bad. And the next one here was really horrible for Rikov. Let's see what he's using. Oh yeah, Kiana, it's not the way, definitely. Ama is the way, but Kiana, definitely not the way here. If he used Erin, Ama would have had way better results. I'm pretty sure about that. The stats from Rikov are crazy. 490. I believe he's 500 though, but I don't know why in this report. I know why. It's because he's using Kiana. Let's check the first one. I think this one, yeah, 500 on the X throwers, 328 on the defense, and 365 on the HP. So crazy good stats for him. The next ones are probably the same. Here, Nacho trading pretty good. I mean, considering it's Rikov, it's not a weaker player. Nacho is trading pretty good here, even defending quite greatly here. Only this March took damage. Let's check. Yeah, the Linda March, guys, completely underestimated by many. If you're an X main, you definitely need to use her. I don't know if he swapped the combos. I don't think he did. Yeah, he didn't. He's still using the same ones. Let's see here. Here is what I was saying, that Rikov saw the reports probably, so he started using one combo just. So I'm guessing this is his Frey Arthur. And yeah, I'm guessing correctly. He's completely annihilating Nacho here. I mean, he's not obliterating him, but he's definitely trading really good. So yeah, that's where Nacho started hurting. So he was thinking, hey, I should shield or not. And we thought, yeah, you need to shield buddy, because if you keep it going, you will just feed him points. I mean, Nacho was not losing troops here because he was getting garrisoned by most of us in RPM, but the issue is he was feeding Rikov many points. Fate also trying with his cavalry. Let's check his cap march. Frey Erin, that's interesting, not gonna lie. I was expecting maybe a Frey Aska for cavalry or Frey Ama. I didn't expect Frey Erin. I mean, it's a good combo, but there are better ones for cav. He still traded really good against Nacho. This guy right here has some really good cav stats, 366 on the attack, 293 and 240 on defense and HP. So overall, a really decent cav player. Here, Rikov trying again on Nacho. Let's see what he's using. Yeah, the same combo, Frey Arthur. Definitely trading more than 2-1 on him. And here is where he definitely hurted Nacho. And after this, I believe, yeah, after this, he completely shielded, since this was... I mean, Nacho wasn't losing a lot of troops, but he was definitely feeding Rikov a lot of good points. Definitely a really pretty decent win for Rikov, despite him losing a lot of troops. And here, guys, we got a couple of Daddy Shamsa's reports. I couldn't record the moment Rikov was attacking him, but I do have the report since I had a couple of my troops garrisoning him. So here is a win for Rikov, although not that big, he won by a small margin, but still is crazy considering he's using 536,000 troops against 7.6 million on Shamsa. Shams is our third Kraken. He's on his way to be, the level of Avel, but he's still a bit far. Avel stats are, I believe it's 500 attack on the axis, 370 on defense, and 350, I believe, on the HP. So as you can see, Shamsa is quite far still from Avel, but that doesn't mean he's still an amazing Kraken. He's definitely working on his stats, and he will soon be an Avel 2.0. On the other side, you can see the difference on his stats. That's the reason he's losing this report here, but the next ones are surprisingly great for Shamsa. I mean, Rikov here has 160% more attack on axis, I believe 40% extra on defense and HP as well. The troop damage though, it's really good for Shamsa here, 14.5 against 2% just. Troop damage reduction, there wins Rikov with 37 against 32. Troop counter damage, that's something you guys already know, only benefits the attacker. So here, defender, which is Shamsa, only 10%, and the attacker 45%, which is amazing. Crit stats, I mean, these are only good for archers or cavs, especially if you're using crit increase heroes, the recent ones with all of their skins, Selena with skin, I think it's Reinhardt with Lancelot's skin, and Ama, all of those heroes benefit from these specific type of runes, which increase the crit rate or the crit damage. And overall, the troops as archers or cavs are the best to use these, although some players prefer to just not go for crit and instead just focus on the attack and damage. That's completely up to you, but here, as you can see, Rikov is using it quite a lot with that 82%. The increased type damage, well, 6% in favor for Shamsa. Reduced type disadvantage, that these two doesn't really matter since, you know, this is archers against archers technically. Increased damage by extroverts, that's really good for Shamsa, 32.5 against 27. My guess, and why Rika has the stat very low, I mean, it's not super low, but it could be 40% and he only has 27, is because he's probably using a specific hero rune instead of a damage reduction, you know? He's probably using an Arthur rune or a Freya rune instead of a damage reduction on archers. And then damage reduction from extroverts, that's crazy good from Rika. 62% is amazing and still really good for Shams. I mean, 53% on his damage reduction is amazing. My man there, you're cooking, bro. You're definitely doing an amazing job. The only things you are missing are definitely the extroverts attack, I would say. But overall, in damage, crit, and a couple of the other stats I see down here, you're doing amazing, bro. So soon you will be, you're cooking, my man. He's using great YSS on defense, that's also worth to mention. He's another axe thrower player, same as Nacho, but you will never see an axe thrower or even a Cav player defending with, I don't know, a Helda or a Reinhardt or I don't know, you know, a Nama or whatever damage hero. They will always use a tank hero, specifically Raid. So if you're an axe thrower, if you're a Cav player, you need to still get Raid 100%. You can pair him with someone else after, like here he's using YSS Shamsa. You could pair him with Arthur, with Freya, whoever you want, but you definitely need to get Raid for defending. That's the truth. The next report, as you can see here, a victory for Shamsa. That's impressive. Of course, it didn't last the same time as the other one. Here, Rico, as soon as he saw he was losing, he cancelled the attack, but still amazing defense for Shamsa here. A lot more troops there, though. Here, Shamsa had 7.6 million. He has a million extra, 8.7, sorry. So that's also a good reason for him defending better. Stats remain the same, and the next one, obviously, another defense based on the number of troops Shamsa has here. So basically, this tells you you need 300% stats and 8 million troops to kind of defend successfully against a whale as Rico is. If you're under that, you will be losing. That's the truth, you know. This is also good to show you guys these. So that was it for the video, guys. Hope you all really enjoyed my sexy voice. I know it's not the greatest English, but I've been trying my best. As I've said on this video, nothing is written, everything came out of my mind directly. So please, if you like the video, give a thumbs up, subscribe, since I really want to reach the 500 subs. It's a personal target I have, and that's it. Like I said, we will see you in the next time. Hopefully it's the Archer guide that I'm working on, but if it's not, it will be another video of war or maybe something new, you know. But I'm definitely cooking the Archer guide, and I will try to bring it as soon as I can. I'm asking a couple players who are main archers to just finish the details, you know. But that being said, hope you guys have an amazing day and see you on the next time. Bye bye.